we keep hearing this idea of lowering prices, abundance, all of these things that are the beneficiary of tech innovation. Education is expensive. It's
Mhm.
increasingly expensive. So why is the cost of training and educating people generally going up so much rather than going down with technology?
Because the crux of what happens and who enrolls in schools is where government funding flows from, and the government is incentivized to just let more and more funding flow to more and more broken schools. So that's actually being flipped on its head.
Broken in what sense?
So in higher education, it's all based on accreditation.
Right.
So even if you look at, the University of Austen, which is a new experiment, they have to enroll if you have anything that's a little bit outside of what is being done traditionally, it's a 4-year wait to get that approved by the accreditors. And until then, you can't get access to Pell Grants or student loans, and every other school does. So if you want to have an actual school, that's the main bottleneck. In K through 12, everybody gets a free public education. There are a couple states that are opening up to vouchers now. So as an example, my kids go to Alpha School here in Austin,
Oh, I've heard of
which
that.
is
Oh,
just
yeah.
phenomenal. But it's expensive. List tuition is 40,000 per year per kid. Not everybody can afford that. But now that Texas in the past couple of months launched it's called Freedom something or other. It's not quite a voucher, not quite free, but Alpha is actually extending some of its subsidiary schools that operate on the exact same technology. So starting next year, anybody in Texas that meets the TIFA criteria will be able to attend the same school that my kids do, effectively remotely for free. So the
How does
access to the
remotely work?
best. What was that?
How does remotely work?
I mean, it's so the core academic portion of what my kids do is on a computer that's AI driven. So it's software that automatically adjusts to your learning level and will think of having like a personalized tutor. It's through apps, but there's AI that's watching and adjusting in the background all along the time. So, the kids that go to Alpha, they spend 2 hours a day on academics, and the rest of the day you can do all sorts of different stuff. But they all end up, 99.9th percentile, everything, perfect SATs. They learn twice as fast as public school kids. It's just way, way better. So you take that same software, you give it to everybody, and the software is actually doing the core of the instruction and the teaching, and at least the academic part.
And then, sorry, just to clarify, so the kids that are joining remotely, where are they joining from, and then what do they do with the remaining, 5 hours of their day?
From home is the answer to the first part, and then depending on which version you join, so Texas Sports Academy is sports based, so you do a couple hours of academics, then you go play sports. There's Novatio, which is a couple hours of academics, and then you do more like remote group life stuff. There are homeschool versions where it's you're gonna do a couple hours of academics and then play hockey or go surfing or go I don't know whatever you want to do. Whatever life skills you want to learn and however you want to spend your time, you can do that. So
Sounds pretty good.
yeah, it's good life. Kids are super super lucky.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how do you see all of this playing out? The formal traditional educational institutions, do we start seeing attendance drop and more of these gauntlet AI type schools popping up? What do you imagine?
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I mean, I I still think in 10 years from now, Stanford will probably be a thing and Harvard will probably be a thing. I think they're losing um, some of their capital. Like the first some of the first Gauntlet hiring partners used to in the 90s they ran a program that was very similar to Gauntlet. It was for the internet, but they started it by just stapling job offers to anybody who graduated from Stanford or MIT.
Right.
And now we're actually this summer running a Gauntlet specifically for uh, sophomores from CS sophomores from Stanford and MIT specifically. So that'll be really interesting. But I think they just they reduced their standards. They lost focus on what really mattered, and so their power is slowly waning. But their power was so extreme that it'll take a while. So I think it's for the next little bit going to look like people chipping at the edges. In K-12, I think it'll actually be more dramatic. Like, my kids go to school with kids that used to go to the most expensive private schools on the planet, and when I go to parent get-togethers, all of us are like, I couldn't, in good conscience, send my kids to the best other private schools that aren't, AI based because they would fall behind academically. It doesn't hold up. And so knowing that is going to be accessible to everybody I think it'll change everything.
I have heard so many good things about Alpha School, and yeah, it is expensive. They have one here in San Francisco, but it is quite expensive. As he said, it was something like $40,000 a year. But yeah, effectively, you like the kids kind of quote unquote work for 2 hours a day, and then they learn other I don't know, real world skills or more like tangible skills, and it seems really cool.
I mean, it sounds like a school that I would have wanted to go to. And if you position an education like that, then yeah, sold.
Yeah.
While you're getting like the state of the art education that you need to be effective in the workforce when you're ready to join it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's like it's very experimental. And I went to quite an experimental elementary school, and I loved it, but like it doesn't always work, right? Experimental is by nature experimental, and thus not every single version of it is going to be great. But again, like I've just heard nothing but good things about Alpha
We're,
School.
we're gonna have to talk more about that offline because I also went to an experimental private school in middle school, and I look back fondly now. I didn't always appreciate it when I was there,